Gronkowski banged up, and rumors flying about Tom Brady being hurt. McIntyre, are you worried about the Pats limping into the postseason?
No, not at all. I think this is great for them. A little adversity for Bill and Tom. I actually think the Patriots are the favorites in the AFC. I don't buy the Chiefs whatsoever. I don't trust the Chargers at all. I think the Ravens can be scary, but for me, I like what the Patriots have done. If you watch that game closely last week against the Bills, they just said, Tom Brady's not delivering. Let's go heavy with the 2 tight end sets and run the football. 240 yards on the ground, they get out of there with the victory. I like teams that can adjust. And I know the word identity is a big buzzword now. Everybody uses it on TV. I think on some level, identity can be overrated, okay? Bill Belichick makes better adjustments than any coach in the league. You want to go back to that Falcons Super Bowl. They're getting stomped 28-3. He says, we can't handle the pressure. You know, let's just check down to James White. Boom, 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 comeback victory. I love everything I've seen over the last almost 2 decades from Belichick. I'm not worried about the Patriots at all.
Look, I'm not worried about Belichick, but I am worried about the New England Patriots as a football team limping into the playoffs. When I look at Tom Brady and I look at years past, he's always been the guy who's been able to overcome whatever ills and woes and weaknesses there may be. But this year, that is not the case. Their supporting cast is being proven that they have to now step up to the plate and make more plays for Tom Brady than Brady has to, in the past, have made for them. And I just don't think that they'll be able to just ease into the postseason and just breeze into the AFC Championship game and just walk into the Super Bowl. Again, it won't be that easy for them. I think that what we're seeing out of Tom Brady is a decline, and their personnel is struggling to lift him up versus him always having to lift them up.
This reminds me of the Patriots in the early 2000s, 2001, 3, and 4, when they were able to win 3 out of 4 Super Bowls. During those years, they leaned on Antoine Smith and Corey Dillon.
Nice.
Run game, heavy, physical. Defense was probably the bell cow, was the identity of their team. The issue with Tom Brady is, as he gets older, Tom Brady doesn't want to get hit anymore. We're seeing Tom Brady flinch more than we ever have. And that's natural when you're an older player. You don't want to take big shots. I think what Belichick and Josh McDaniels have realized is if we can run the ball, if we can load it up, they can beat everybody in the AFC. They know those other teams are going to fall apart. They're going to give them games as long as they don't mess it up. I think what they're doing going into the postseason, they're getting ready to play playoff-style football, more 21 personnel, more old-school sets. They're going to win games ugly, but they're going to still win games.
I'm going to have to disagree with you guys. I believe they could lose their first game if they face the Chargers or the Ravens, who actually have defenses that can compete with them, and offense that in the Ravens runs the ball, and the Patriots defense cannot stop the run. Tom, like you said, he can't overcome all the deficits that they have on defense now. Gronk is not looking like Gronk. Gronk has looked like he's out there playing on, you know, a bad back, which is really, you know, what he's doing. They're figuring out ways to cover Edelman so that he's not out there, you know, getting it how he wanted. So with that being said, I don't, you know, if they face the Chargers or the Ravens, I believe they could be losing their first game at home since 2012 when they faced the Ravens and lost them.
James, I wonder, though, are we overreacting to that Miami result, the fluke play?
I'm not overreacting to that. I'm reacting to what I'm seeing in Gronk over the course of this year.
Oh, no, Gronk stinks.
I'm reacting to how Tom is not as accurate as he was under pressure this year as he has been in the previous years. Like he said, now where he would normally stand in there and know that hit is about to come, he's ducking and swinging and slinging. And you got a pick here, you got incompletion here. Incompletion's not going to kill you, but the interceptions do.
And let's not forget, though, this is a team that went into Chicago against an elite defense, scored 38 points. I know the special teams had 2 scores. It's Belichick, guys. I mean, sell them at your own peril. Like, seriously.
No, what it is teams don't fear the New England Patriots anymore. When you look at what transpired in Miami, the way that they lost, in years past, if you were playing the New England Patriots, you were concerned. They were being hosted by the Pittsburgh Steelers, walked into Heinz Field, and got it handed to them. In years past, the Patriots coming off a loss, we don't see that when they come off a loss, that actually have another second loss to follow. We just haven't seen these types of things, and it's a lot to do with the age of Tom Brady and the lack of personnel that is able to now support him. Right. Period. I'm not saying Tom Brady can't get it done and that he's washed up, because I don't believe that. Right. But I do believe that their personnel has to get better to elevate his level of play and to supplement for what he's not able to do.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that's why this team has to run through their running backs. Sony Michel and James White have to be the focal points of that offense. If they lean on the running backs, not just as runners, but as receivers, try and create some mismatches in their base personnel sets. When they go empty, use James White as a playmaker. We've seen them try and do that of late. I think that is the only way that they're going to win. The one thing I do worry about the other teams that are coming in, with the exception of the Baltimore Ravens, the fear factor of the Patriots, where you start worrying about the logo on the helmet as opposed to who they really are. In the playoffs, can people get past that mystique factor to really knock them off?
So they face the Ravens. You're going with the Ravens?
Yeah, I go with the Ravens because I know the Ravens can beat them.
Okay. I would agree with that. Who you got coming out of the AFC?
I mean, it's hard for me to pick against the Patriots because of what they've been proven to do. And when you look at the teams that I believe had the best chance of beating them, like the Pittsburgh Steelers, they're not in a great situation right now. The Baltimore Ravens, can they hold it all the way together?
What about the Chiefs at home?
The Chiefs at home in the playoffs?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm not taking the Chiefs at home in the playoffs.
I'm not taking them anywhere.
They can't win at home in the playoffs.
Who? They got a new quarterback. They got Mahomes.
I understand.
How many wins in the playoffs for Pat Mahomes? I'm spaced.
Listen, the man got like 20 weeks, average what, 28 points a game? Something goofy? Even in his losses, like 40 or 50 points. What are we talking about?
When they played the Patriots this year, did he beat them?
They played at home. It was 51 to 50 or
worst
something like
defense
that.
in the league,
horrible.
James.
Yeah. Just saying. You got to play a little bit of defense. In the playoffs, you got to play defense.
Listen.
They don't have you. I know your looks may be intimidating.
No, I'm trying to tell
but they're
you,
not
like,
intimidating at the desk. They're intimidating on the field.
I'm taking, if Kansas City gets first home field, I'm taking them all the way to the Super Bowl. To it. I ain't saying they're going to win it. To it.
I got you. Well, we'll talk about it some more.
Okay.
Coming up, the Vikings and Eagles are both chasing the